welcome back to another video. It's good to be back. Just a little bit about myself. My name's Anderson Carlson. As you guys know, I'm a college student. This video is going to be about how I generated over $200,000 in revenue by sales. So if anyone coming from my video 3 months ago, you guys know I did door-to-door sales.
Yeah, this is all that road construction was.
Pest control for a company called EcoShield. It was hard, one of the best experiences of my life, and I'm super excited to tell you guys all about it. So first things first, I was going door to door, knocking on people's door, selling them a $1,000 contract. So it was a super cold call, basically like a cold call. I'll go in a neighborhood, I'll knock for about 10 hours in that neighborhood, talk to probably 50 to 100 homeowners and try to sell them on buying my pest control services for the company I work for. So the hours were crazy. This is what my day would look like. I'd wake up at 6:30. I would stretch, read the Bible, shower, get ready, be at the meeting by around 8. And then from the meeting started at like 8:30. We would go up until like 10. I would go on the doors by around 10:30 to 11, and I would knock all the way until 8 p.m. every single day besides Sunday. So 6 days a week, basically 72-hour weeks, every single day throughout the whole summer. So I had to sacrifice a lot. I had to sacrifice friends. I had to sacrifice family. I had to sacrifice working out. I worked out only once a week. And then I had to sacrifice going to church. Something I do feel guilty about because I obviously could have went to church on Sundays, but I decided not to. It was no free time, just grind all summer long. I'm super happy about the outcome and everything I learned and actually the experience I gained from it. So I made $200,000. I sold $200,000 worth of pest control. The job was no base pay at all, only commission. What actually happened was that first month, I joined not knowing anything about anything. I kind of joined a week before. Kids would train for about 5 months prior. I only trained for about a week. I went out there, so that first month was a big learning curve for me. I didn't know what I was doing. I was struggling very hard. I had horrible days. It was a huge mental battle. I kind of took myself into deep waters, and I learned a lot about myself. Then I exponentially started getting better and better. That first month, I probably only sold like $30,000 worth of pest control. And then that second month was a little bit better. I think I started getting in the swing of things. I sold like maybe another like 40, 50. And then that fourth month, I sold $80,000 worth of pest control. Absolutely a wild feeling. By the way, this video is gonna be kind of everywhere. There's so much to talk about, so I'm gonna be going everywhere. But the reason I actually took the job, I was just in bad mental space, and I remember praying to God. It was like during finals week, I was praying to God, like, put me through something very hard this summer where I get the most experience I can. I grow as a person and I come out alive. So I go through the trenches basically and come out alive. And then instantly after praying to God, I thought about this guy hitting me up 5 months prior on LinkedIn. So I hit him back up. I said, hey, I want to join, and boom, there we go. I'm in. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better team and a better culture to be around. It's almost like going to war with a group of people. You guys are all like-minded. You guys are all doing the same thing, going through the trenches. The bond was so strong, and the kids I was with were just, they grew me as a person, and we kind of just grew each other, and we're all super like-minded. It was a really strong brotherhood, especially when you just go through something like that. Such a hard experience with other people. You really grow and you really connect with them, and you guys become so strong. So I mean, the group of people I worked with were around my age, and I'm probably gonna be friends with them for life. Like the amount of shit talking, the amount of like hyping each other up, like it was like brothers for life. Like we were always gonna have each other's back. One thing that was super interesting, a little bit more about the experience on the doors is I get to explore how other people live. I mean, I'm walking up to your home, and I'm basically invading your personal space. And what I got to see was I would talk to people from the whole spectrum. I mean, I would talk to very poor people. I would talk to very wealthy people. I would talk to very just moderate, just baseline people. And it gives you a different perspective on life. It's like, wow, like even some of the wealthy people, I'm like, is this really how I want to live my life? Is this where I want to be? And a lot of people was like, no, like I don't want to be in your position. I get it. You have a great, beautiful house. You have a beautiful family. You have all these things, but you just seem so not fulfilled. But you get a different perspective on how people are living lives and in the real world and how that is. And that was a really cool thing to see. A couple things is mindset. So although I didn't technically do sales training, I believe one thing I did do, which kind of projected me to shoot and sell 200,000, which is very hard for a rookie, is my mindset. So as you guys know, I was super disciplined. If you guys watched prior videos, I was super disciplined. I worked out all the time. I was reading. I did monk mode. I did 75 hard. I was doing so many discipline actions that got me through the summer. There was a point through the summer where it's like, it's not even sales skills at this point. It's just mindset and getting myself to keep on waking up and going. I mean, one thing helped is obviously the people around me. I mean, we're all doing the same thing. We were holding each other accountable. But another thing is, like, when I'm out there, I'm all alone. No one's with me. I'm out there alone on an island, knocking doors, and I have to put in the hours. The mindset you need to actually finish through a summer like this is, it's crazy. It's very important being disciplined, and you learn a lot about yourself. I mean, there's gonna be hard days, there's gonna be, good days, but no matter what, you still have to put in the same amount of hours, same amount of work, perform the same amount. No matter if it's a bad day or a good day, you still have to do the same thing. So that's the one thing you really learn about yourself is mind. And you're in your head all the time, because I'm basically alone out there besides when I'm in conversations with homeowners. The whole time I'm out there, I'm just always in my head. So you learn to deal with negative thoughts. You learn to get out of that motion. One thing was when I was kind of in a slump, very tired, didn't want to do it, what I would do is I would speed up. So I would actually knock faster. I'd go door to door a little bit faster, and I felt like I was on shackling chains after every knock. And that helped me get out of the rut. So you learn methods like that. One thing is never saying negative things out loud is massive. I mean, it gives it so much power. So what you're doing by not saying it is you're not giving it power. You're only saying positive things out loud. It's almost like manifesting something. About 80% of your thoughts, unconscious thoughts a day, are negative. So 20% is not that much being positive, so just don't say that negative thing out loud. And it has a significantly less amount of power if you just never say it out loud. So it's one thing you learn how to deal with these mental tactics, how to deal with yourself, and you basically find yourself. By the way, I don't know if you guys like this camera quality, but I actually just bought a new camera. So it's a Luminex G9. I got the mic, so I'm testing it out, and I'm gonna be recording. I'm gonna be going super hard on this, so I thought I'd invest in a great camera. A couple sale tactics I learned. I'll kind of run over some of them. One thing is just like learning how to anchor is massive. It's a big thing. It's kind of like sales 101 is, it's like, how much does this cost? It's like, $10,000. They're like, what? I think you just figure, no, I'm kidding, it's just $1,000. So it actually takes off the blow from what it actually is. And 1,000 is still a lot, but it takes off the blow a little bit. And that's what anchoring is. So that's one sales tactic I learned. Body language is massive. So it's like 80% of communication is actually body language. 5% is like tonality. I don't know the exact statistics, but most of your communications with someone else is body language and tonality, and it's barely even anything what you say. So body language, as in you kind of have to read and adapt to the person you're talking to. But what I learned is like how to be passive, I'm a bit of a taller, bigger person, so I had to be a little less dominant over them. You can't square up, you're kind of to the side. Assertive when need to be. When I talk to like an alpha male, I have to stand my ground. It's a totally different body language than when I'm talking to an old grandma. So an old grandma, I'm more like passive, like less intimidating. A bigger alpha dude, I have to be more respect. Like, this is me, I'm confident. So you really learn body language, tonality. It has a different meaning, just the pitch you use. So you can be like, hey, how you doing? Like you're trying to gain their respect, or just like, hey, how you doing? There's tonality is a huge difference. Assertiveness. I really learned how to be assertive. What you have to do out there is you have to be confident, you have to be assertive, and you have to lead them. So you can't just ask them, you can't do it. You literally have to lead them to where they want to go. So you're kind of just holding their hand and they're following you, and you're bringing them along. You're bringing them through the whole process of learning it, which is great just for being a man. Is I feel a lot more assertive and a lot more leading. Brought a lot more confidence out of me as well. Feel more comfortable in my skin and who I am. I mean, some days I was out there and I was just like embarrassed. Like door to door is like not the sexiest looking job. I mean, you're just out there and people hate you. People think you're the most annoying person in the world. People that are just disgusted of you, and you're just walking around and everyone's staring at you. It's embarrassing sometimes, and you really have to learn to be comfortable in what you're doing and be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because sometimes I'm out there and it's just I just felt like the whole neighborhood hated me. Another thing is just like building rapport is super important. People buy from people they like. Just building those conversations. Movement's really important as well. If it's kind of like if someone says no, you bring them out of the no zone. So you bring them to the backyard, you move them around. It's really important. I just learned stuff like that. These are just like basic fundamentals that I believe everyone needs to understand just to communicate with other people. And you kind of just learn the nature of people. You learn how people work, how to communicate with people, not how to manipulate, but how to convince and how to persuade other people, and just how to come across as a more confident person. And these are things I've learned actually doing this job. And then you just learn another sales tactics like yes laddering. So you kind of keep asking them questions, you keep making them say yes, and when they say yes over and over, they get more in a buying state. So you learn little stuff like that, which, I mean, it takes you so far in life. Obviously, business is sales, and where I want to go in life, I mean, these are basic understanding, basic principles that I needed to understand that I didn't need it before. I mean, maybe you guys even notice a difference for how I'm coming across this video compared to how I did 3 months prior. So that's one thing. Another thing is rejection. I mean, there was days I didn't sell anyone, and I talked to probably 100 people, and I just got no. Like, you learning to deal with like rejection is massive. I mean, just not letting it affect you. I mean, there was days, I mean, like when I was kind of newer, like in the first month, like I got a no, and it was like more of a harsher no, where like people, I mean, I would get screamed at all the time, and that would affect me for like the whole rest of the day. So it's like learning to take that and just push it off and keep going. You almost learn to tolerate this sort of thing, not let it affect you as much. Maybe it's like, okay, it doesn't matter. This is a random person or whatever. You learn how to do that. So you learn to deal with rejection, which is super important. And another thing is, it's kind of the same thing, or it kind of adds on to it, is like whether you use a high performing day, whether it's a low performing day, it's over the next day, it's over, it's in the past, I can't think about it anymore, I have to perform. So every day I'm starting at zero. Whether the day before that was high performing, low performing, it doesn't matter because it's in the past. I have to start now. So I can't let the past affect your present. You can't live in the past, you can't live in the future, you can't think about the future. Sometimes if at the beginning of the summer, when I think about, I got 4 months of this, it's overwhelming. You literally can't think about that. You have to live in the present, or it just overwhelms you and you don't want to do it anymore. The drop-off rate is so high with door-to-door. So, I mean, the office, we started at like 35, 40 people. I think it ended with 22 people. So a lot of people, you don't make it through because how difficult it is. Just the mindset-wise, it's super difficult. One thing that was massive to me is God. So, I mean, I would pray every night to God. I would listen to the Bible every morning. And God played a huge role, actually. Just it's brought me closer to God. Last year, my sophomore year, I'm a junior now in college. My sophomore year, I got really close to God, and he's the reason, like I said, he's the reason I did this job. You really lean on God in hard times in the trenches. But one thing I learned to do is just, when I pray, is just saying thank you. I'm not asking God for anything, but I'm only saying thank you, and I'm being grateful for what he has given me, and I'm being grateful for the lessons he's given me. My personal thought on this is, when you tell God and you pray to God, and all you say is thank you, and then obviously like have mercy on me, when you pray to God and say thank you every single day for what you have, you're unconsciously telling your unconscious that you are grateful for what you have, and you start being grateful for what you have, and you start, wow, I do have a lot of stuff in my life. I have a lot of people in my life. I have a lot of friends. God's gifted me with great flesh. He's gifted me with a great mind. He's gifted me with great opportunities. You start to become grateful for everything you really do have in life. And that's one thing I learned to do, or I started doing, is just when I pray to God now, I say thank you for everything. That was my experience, guys. That's why you guys haven't seen me in a while. I know a lot of people have been asking me. So I'm back. I'm super excited to be back. I'm gonna go super hard on this. I just bought a camera, so I'm committed. Guys. Don't worry about me leaving again. I did it for the experience. I drained that summer dry for experience, and I honestly got way more than I thought I would ever get. So throughout, future videos, this is kind of my plan, is I'm gonna continue to give maybe like lessons, go deeper into like stuff I have learned over the summer, continue to post videos, and guys, I'm gonna get back into dropshipping. I've really built a foundation. As you guys know, I didn't really have money to actually dropship last semester, so I was really struggling. I was being really stingy how I do it. Now I kind of have a launch pad. I have the fundamentals of how to do it, the basic information, and now I actually have resources to dropship. Continue to document that, continue to document my life, sprinkle lessons, things I've learned, and continue to reach out to you guys. I'm glad to be back. I'm gonna put my Instagram link in the description below. Text me, reach out to me whenever. I'm super easy to talk to. If you guys have any questions or anything at all, recommendations, anything, reach out to me whenever. But it's good to be back, guys. I'm happy to be back, and I can't wait for a great rest of the year and continue on with my journey in life and continue to take you guys along with it. See you guys next time.